And we are back. Sorry about the minor hiccup there. Something happened with Twitch again. Very rude. But we managed to kind of reconnect and everything, so we're all happy with that. Cool. So, before our break, Rock has secretly snuck off back to his ancestral home, while Eugene, in a burst of spontaneity, has decided to set up a date with his blossoming romance, the equally awkward wizard, Gree. So we're going to dive back into what Eugene's up to. So I think the rest of the afternoon kind of slinks away slowly in that sort of grindy sort of I don't know what to do with myself way. And even the things that you would normally do to fill your time with magic and research and stuff like that doesn't seem to hold your attention. You've got this weird sort of butterfly in your stomach all the while as it kind of gets closer and closer. And then just before 7, there is a ring at the outside door, and you hear the plodding of Kath making her way through the house, and then you hear her clear voice calling through the internal spell for the house to you. Master Grease Hemlock for you, Eugene.
Tell him I'm just finishing something and I'll be right there.
Very well. I will go to the sitting room.
Yes, good idea. Great idea.
So you are left. How long do you take? Are you still getting ready, or?
No, he's been ready for like an hour. He just wants to make him think that he doesn't want him to know that he's like literally been waiting, looking at his watch, like. So I think he probably only gives it a few minutes, to be fair, before he comes into the sitting room.
Gree is dressed very differently from last time you saw him. Gone are the grey robes of his apprenticeship, and he is wearing like a midnight blue undershirt, over which is draped like a burgundy with gold trim cloth, almost like a huge scarf that kind of goes round his shoulders and kind of drapes over his arms. He's wearing like big open kind of like, I don't want to say harem pants, but that sort of style, sort of loose in like a deep brown, and he is wearing much more jewelry than he was. He's got rings on his fingers that he didn't have before, and around one of his horns is a long piece of cloth in the same colour as his wrap with a little jewel. And he's also wearing one jeweled earring as well. He
Dang.
gets up and he smiles. This big, beautiful, like warm, really fond, welcome to see you smile. Hi. Wow, you look awesome.
Well, I was going to say the same. You look great.
Thank you. I finished my apprenticeship. I can wear the clothes from my ancestral home again.
Well, congratulations. That's amazing news that I hadn't already heard. Wait, I said the quiet part loud and then loud.
I gather that news travels, but yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that, and I actually have you to thank for that. You gave me so many ideas to kind of finish off and prove to Amber Drew what I could do. And after Parshkikk, he was really happy to kind of sign me off. Kind of sad to see me go, I think, as well, but which is odd because he hadn't remembered me for 500 years. But but yeah, oh wow, you do look awesome, and it's really lovely to see you, and thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate that.
Well, thanks for coming. I'm sorry it was kind of short notice. I'm Trying to be more spontaneous.
Is that Ashling? Ashling's doing. She's strikes me as
No,
very spontaneous. You want to be spontaneous? Oh, cool. I didn't mean
well,
like you're.
Rox suggested I should be more spontaneous and that I
Okay.
didn't have to plan everything.
I mean, I hear that a lot from like Riskarith, so I guess it's true. Who sends her love, by the way? Um, her and the family. So, wow. Where are we going? Should I?
Oh, right. We should probably
Yeah.
go.
Uh,
Um,
well, after you.
okay.
And the two of you sort of do that awkward thing in the entrance. And I think roll me a quick perception check.
Oh, I got a natural 20.
Perfect. And I think just as you're closing the door, you can see that Kath and Bordeus and your uncle are all leaning out of one of the doors.
I really thought it was going to be a dex check too. But I was rolling to not get stuck in the door.
Roll for awkward.
Yeah, roll for awkward for me. And I think it does actually. Once you close the door and you're kind of in the open, the two of you just kind of get into this gentle pace, and then Gree starts asking you about what happened at the cairn and starts sharing some of the things he's been up to. He's been doing a lot of research for Sothis, and also trying to help people acclimatize on Parshkikk to suddenly being 500 years later and now a floating island as opposed to a seaside near sea town. And there's like lots of information that goes back and forth about I don't know, how much do you tell him about what happened at the cairn?
Yeah, I think he tells him pretty much everything. I don't think he would feel like he had to hide anything. I think he probably wouldn't mention the stuff that happened when they got back to Cloudscairn, like the stuff at the mayor's office and in the Citadel. I don't think he'd tell him that because of security breach issues, probably.
That's right. Yeah, I think he's very interested. He's incredibly impressed by how clever using the banishment spell like that was. Like tells you enthusiastically that that's really, really cool and something that he really needs to add to his repertoire. And it's not long, and it's actually kind of time starts moving a little faster as the two of you just relax into each other a little bit, and this very easy conversation where the two of you are comparing notes and talking tactics and like doing spell weaves, and it's just like this whole like intellectual level the two of you just connect on and joke about things that Rock and Aisling would just roll their eyes at, but the two of you just find absolutely hilarious. And it's not long before you are down near the cliffside on the other side of the Merchants District. And you come down this long alley, not actually too far from Ash's book depository, actually, and come into this big open courtyard. And you came here earlier, but you didn't really appreciate it because it was the daylight. There is this big, broad, golden barked tree with big pink blossoms that seem to ever fall, and their branches just kind of go out and in through and just kind of create like this natural canopy which people can sit under. And there are like good 20 tables of like young, like lots of different people, like in different groups, just sort of sitting under it. Just, and you kind of notice as the trees just get close, just whenever they hit someone, this blossom just goes and just vanishes in these little tiny sparks. Roll me a quick history check.
History. 24.
24. You haven't seen one of these before, but this is an everblossom. This is an elven tree. Allegedly came with your people when they first arrived on Erevis, before they settled the Golden City of Nudoan, before it even rose up into the sky with everybody else. What it's doing in a place like Cloud's Cairn is anyone's guess, but it is beautiful, and you can almost feel that sort of historical connection to your people, just kind of ebbing from the natural gentle glow and warmth that it seems to give off. You are shown to your table by a small fairy folk, a little young lady with a big cherubic smile and little tiny squirrel ears poking out from a little white cap that she's keeping on. She's got like a maid's dress on, sort of thing, like it's kind of made up to look like an elven like server, and a big fluffy tail which she kind of has actually tied under the belt to stop it kind of hitting people as she goes, and she gleefully takes you to this really nice quiet table towards the back of the restaurant, where you are directly under one of the boughs, and the leaf and the kind of blossoms just kind of fall around the edge of you. And the two of you are sat, and a menu is bought. Specials are given to you. It's all, as Rock promised, it's not too fancy or too expensive. It's all very homely food, but it's beautifully prepared. And you can see it coming in these large leaf-style bowls, which have this kind of like little tiny patterns of blue light kind of skimming along the base of them to kind of make them pulse in time with the tree. She makes some recommendations. She takes some notes. And what sort of food does Eugene fancy?
I think Eugene fancies something familiar.
Yeah.
Something that's not going to be too messy. He's obviously thinking about it logically. Yeah, I think he'd just be looking for something that he knows what it is. He knows that he would enjoy it, and yeah, something familiar.
There is a Lifalan salad, which is something your mother used to prepare when your father was away. It's mostly vegetables, but it's prepared in a way with a light vinaigrette and like a really crisp sort of energy to it. And sometimes with just a little bit of meat cut through as well, depending on how much protein your mum wanted you to have at that point in time. And I think it feels like home when you see it on there. It is one of those weird dishes that's always served with like it was always served like in the later years with a loaf of your sister's elf bread. Like which she got very good at, and lifts you up in a way that you would consider home.
Yeah, I think he would definitely order that.
Gree goes for like a deep stew with like a ready paprika sausage through the base of it. He kind of ums and ahs, and he keeps smiling. He's like, it's like my home. This was a specialty. It's not quite the same, but it feels very similar to it. I keep finding things that are echoes of what we had before, and it's really encouraging to see how things have evolved. It's exciting. Like I feel like a time traveler.
Well, you kind of are.
Yeah, I guess. It's very weird, but fun. I think some other people are finding it really difficult, but I like it. It's exciting. So, you're getting a ship.
Yeah, can you believe it?
That's crazy. And amazing, and wow. And I'm going to be in Cloudscairn. I'm going to be working with your uncle. So if you ever need me, I'll be around. I can help.
Yeah, about that.
Hmm?
So there's going to be another member of the research team, and her name's Millith.
Oh, Milith,
Um,
yes.
have you met her yet?
No, just heard things about her. She's supposed to be very smart. Your
Yeah,
uncle thinks she's very smart, but
she is insufferably smart. We've known each other for a long time. I haven't seen her for a couple of years, but just don't pay too much attention to like any kind of stories that she might have to tell you about me.
I tell you what, I will promise to take everything that Milith tells me with a pinch of salt if you promise to do the same for Enchanter Amberdrew.
Okay, that sounds like a fair deal.
And he kind of puts his hand across the table. Shake on it.
Yeah, okay.
Cool. Under Druid terms, we have now entered the Geese and we cannot break it.
Wait, what?
I'm joking. I don't know that spell. It's way more powerful than I know. He kind of carry on with eating. I think at one point he kind of goes, sorry, and just pulls a hair out of your face and just tucks it behind your ears. It was making its way loose.
It kind of has a mind of its own, honestly.
I like it. I've always liked it.
Thanks.
And there's that moment of quiet, sort of like, oh, did I just say something embarrassing for a second?
So, other than, the research team thing with my uncle, what are your plans now?
Well, I thought I'd help this really intelligent, very attractive half-elf save the world, and then go from there.
Wait, who? Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, and these two tag-along weirdo friends who I quite like too. Just make sure that they...
I can feel the daggers from Rock.
I'm only saying that because I feel like I'm in a safe distance from him.
Be careful, because he's got that whole telepathy thing going on, so I'm never really sure how much he can actually...
I know, and Aisling, the thing... How does that all... But you know what? I probably best not knowing straight away how that all works.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, and I don't really think Ashley knows either, so it's still a mystery at this point, I suppose.
Well, if you ever want me to look anything up, I am officially working for you as a research person now, so...
I know, that's weird, isn't it? Does that make me your boss?
I technically think your uncle's my boss, but you can order me about a little bit if you want to.
I think at that point Eugene just goes kind of red and then awkwardly looks down at his food and tries to change the subject.
And I think as you kind of look up under your brow, you kind of see that actually Gree just cottoned on to what he said and has gone that really deep grey again, and it's kind of doing the same. Wow.
So the food here is really nice. Is your food nice?
It's really, really good. It's about as close as I've got to this, and they've done a really good job, and I love it. It's really nice, and yours looks amazing.
Yeah, it's delicious. My mum always used to make this for us, so it's kind of nice to feel like some kind of connection to home, I guess.
Yeah, my mum used to make this for me. Yeah, I guess she's long gone now, but sorry, bringing the mood down.
No, it's okay.
Well, he kind of raises his wine glass. here's to good mothers and their wonderful sons.
And he will cheers him with his non-alcoholic wine.
And I think the rest of your evening goes on. You have a very nice, chilled, relaxed time. If there is anything you particularly want to talk to Gree about, you may certainly do so. But the rest, I will leave after that. So,
I think. Is there anything he wants to talk about?
I mean, there's a lot of small talk and a lot of comparison notes. Both of you get really excited about some different magical things.
Yeah, of course.
Do you give him the book?
Oh yes, the book. Theo thought about that a minute ago.
Theo is so method. It's amazing.
That's the ADHD. Yes, the book that Eugene definitely wouldn't have forgotten about. Theo did. So yeah, I think at some point he would try to find like a good time, probably before like they've ordered dessert, and then there's that bit where you're waiting for dessert and letting your food go down. And he kind of has it underneath the table. It's like, so actually I kind of got you something.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not a huge thing. I missed you, I guess, and
yeah, we've both been really busy. I've missed you too.
And I wanted to get you something. So here, and he gives him the package.
This is beautiful. He kind of opens the packet very gently, very very cautiously, like kind of undoing so that he doesn't damage the paper and things like that. Oh, Eugene, this is beautiful. I mean,
you haven't read it already, have you?
No. I've heard really good things about Daclanian magic, and also to take it with a pinch of salt, because they have a very high opinion of themselves. But this book is gorgeous. Oh, I'm really excited. Well, and he kind of reaches in to under his robe and he's like, well, seeming as we're kind of in the gift-giving mood, and he passes you a small parcel. And it's
thanks. I didn't have to get me something.
And you didn't have to get me something either, but we both did.
I think Eugene is genuinely surprised and wasn't expecting him to get him anything. I don't think he had thought through that if he was getting Gree something, then Gree might get him something. It hadn't.
Do you open it?
Yeah.
You open it, and it is a scarf not unlike the one he is wearing at the moment. A little bit smaller, suited to your slightly smaller frame. In a deep, nearly midnight purple, embroidered with gold and silver stars, and tasseled with little pearls at the edge.
This is beautiful. Thank you.
I hope you like it. It's something that my people wore to kind of indicate their coming of age and their willingness to step into the world. And I thought it's also very warm, and you're going to be out in the skies a lot more than you have been. So I thought maybe it would keep you warm and just let people know that you're a brave adventurer under your own terms.
Wow, thank you. It's so thoughtful. And I just got you a stupid book.
You got me knowledge I didn't have, which, let's face it, for either of us is always exciting.
Well, I hope it's good. It came on high recommendations, so.
Well, it came from you, so I would of course enjoy it. And the kind of dessert comes, and I think the two of you there's not as much on the dessert, and there's like a elderberry, like a dragonberry tart, which your sister makes perfectly, and I think there's a little sort of I'm going to challenge these people in you when you order it, and it's very tart, but it has a very gentle sweet crispness, and the pastry is just really, really light. It's served with cobalt spit ice cream, which sounds horrible, but it's ever so slightly alcoholic, not too bad, but a little bit, and tastes like a random thing when you pair it with whatever.
Amazing. So what does it taste like?
This is the thing. What is Eugene thinking about?
Well, I think he'd obviously be thinking about home and his sister, and yeah, the farm.
It tastes like the warm apples that your mum stews in the autumn, which is the time of year.
Amazing.
Gree has the same thing, and he just kind of goes halfway through, like 2 mouthfuls.
Wait, what does yours taste like?
Oh, spicy.
Oh, what were you thinking about?
Home.
Oh.
He kind of looks a bit embarrassed. I was actually thinking how much I'd have liked to introduce you to my siblings.
Oh, you had siblings?
I did. They were wonderful. And one of the things I want to do is find out what they did and what they made of their lives, because I always thought they would do great things. And I would.
Well, I'm sure they did.
Yeah. And they would have loved you. They would have teased me horribly, but they would have loved you.
Yeah, siblings do that. Twins are even worse.
Oh, you're a twin. Oh, what's that like?
It's interesting. It's nice sometimes because I know that there's like always someone out there that is almost exactly like me, and she kind of feels like the other half of me, but also really annoying because she's the other half of me, so she knows exactly what I'm thinking most of the time and won't let me forget it ever.
I have an older brother and an older sister and a younger sister. I had. My older brother was too serious, and my elder sister was not serious enough, and my younger sister was one of my best friends, and she talked me into going to train with Amber Drew. I'm really glad she did, because whatever else happened, I feel like my life has been interesting and exciting.
Yeah, I don't think anybody could argue with that.
The meal ends. You kind of pay up. I think Gree offers to pay first. I don't know what Eugene wants to do.
I think it was Eugene's intention to pay.
It's 35 gold in total for the meal. Your server is ecstatic. It's kind of giving you, it's one of those things where she's giving you enough space to kind of so you can enjoy yourselves, whereas you can see that other people they've been more engaged with. And she kind of like, as you leave, she kind of just passes you a small pouch with softly glowing petals in it.
Wow.
Each.
I think Eugene will leave her a tip also.
Awesome. We'll mark off how much you leave her. No, 35 gold for a restaurant like this is not too bad. Like the big ones, like 100.
Come on, guys. We just made 200 platinum. What's 35 gold?
Right, you know. Anyway, so you're making your way back along the cliffside, and I think it's at this point you realise what Rock was saying about how beautiful it is. The night sky and the shimmer of the sky shield is all you can see out in the distance beyond the ever-falling Cairn River. You can see some sky ships blinking in and out with their ever lanterns, letting people know. But most of the city lights are behind you, and it's this clear, beautiful view of the world beyond your borders, somewhere where both of you have walked. So, I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
How does Eugene's night end?
I think they walk along the cliffside and, maybe sit for a while and just talk, look at the stars, and then I imagine that Gree would walk Eugene home. And I think they almost definitely have an awkward kiss on the doorstep.
I love that. Is this a spontaneous kiss from Eugene?
A planned spontaneous kiss, yes.
Perfect. And you close the door behind you. That like gentle warmth of a beautiful evening in your chest. And you can hear some shuffling furniture as the rest of your household just sort of sit down and try and make themselves look busy and don't ask you any questions. I think that's where we're going to leave Eugene for the minute, and we're going to pop back over to our Dragonborn, who presently we find in the middle of the family library. Both his sister and him gently pulling out different books and bringing them to a central desk where they are studying deeply as a pair. From the edge, you can see Millie coming in with a cup of tea and some fresh bread from the kitchen. What are you and Campbell looking for?
So I think Rock will not give kind of all the details because he is still aware of Camber's position and he doesn't want to put her into any kind of weird things. But he has basically told her that he would like to research and needs to find out some information about their grandmother and about their father when he was younger. So I would probably start by just looking up what people had. There's likely to be more available information on my grandmother. So looking up things about what she was like when she was younger and affiliations she had when she was younger, and particularly looking for anything that touches on unusual friendships or unusual trips or anything like that.
Roll me a history check with advantage because Cambor is helping you.
Okay. History. History. Okay. There. Off the desk. Okay. So that would be an 18.
An 18. The two of you pull out a lot of your grandmother's older documents and information and the like that she put about her time at court, running the household, supporting things like that. What you do find very quickly is that your father's name actually exists in these books prior to your mother's birth. His It's not really a big surprise to either of you. You know that your father is a lot older than your mother, and you know that the Urukis clan have always been very close to the Revorkis. Your two families still get on. Like you spend a lot of time at each other's places. Like you used to go down to the summer and spend them over there and things like that. But you always kind of assumed that was more to do with the fact that your father liked to go home where it was slightly warmer, and things like that. And your mother, being who she is, always used to want to make sure that he was comfortable. Your grandmother, Campbell Revorkis, is was a staunch recorder. She puts a lot of information about the handlings and things like that. And you do quickly pick up between the two of you, like this kind of thing where Campbell's like, here, again, all these strange trips to the capital on a regular basis. And then after a certain point, they stop. And it's about that time that you realise it's when your mother was getting closer to age. So it's possibly that she was like, I need to be home to make sure she knows what she's doing. But you can't shake this sort of, particularly with what you have seen, that it feels reflective. Your father's name still appears on the books. He still is kind of coming to your household quite regularly, and then obviously it changes to the details about the proposal, and then the marriage, and then of course on to notes about you two. Lots of notes about you two. There's a point where you look up and Campbell was actually just gently dabbing an eye. I think you always knew how much your grandmother adored the pair of you, but to see it written down, it's just a fresh reminder of that warmth and kindness that she always showed you, and that sense of adventure she always tried to instill in the pair of you.
Yeah. I think I'd like to try and see if there were any major kind of political upheavals, like any big events in the kind of things that happened to the emperor or anything like that is kind of coincides with either my grandmother's trips there to the capital or when they stopped. So did they stop after a particular event as well?
They stopped just before the death of the first emperor. And she did not go back to court for his son.
Right. Okay.
In fact, it's kind of one of those things, like, although the structure wasn't quite as stringent as it is under the third emperor, how it's all been positioned with political positions, so like any of the great houses can be risen up to high houses, which of course you become a ruling representative of the emperor himself, which is what's happened to your mother. Although your house has always been one of the great houses, and you find her kind of indicating that your great grandmother, Inden, was a close supporter of the emperor at the beginning. Your grandmother will make an insight check on her writings.
Ooh, nice. 16 plus 18 again.
18 again. It's kind of hard to read, but she always talks about her mother as almost having these two distinct lives. So your great-grandfather, Prukul Waivir, was a great man, and your grandmother talks about him as being your grandmother talks about her father as someone that her mother was very fond of. But she always talks about this strange, every time she went to court with her mother, this strange sort of fondness and connection between the first emperor and her mother. It's sort of almost beyond protocol and beyond friendship. And she never kind of calls her mother out on it, but she always says that I notice that they are very close. And maybe this is something in the future we can use politically to protect ourselves. You're kind of getting to the point where you're kind of rubbing the bridges of your noses and things when Campbell kind of goes, oh. And she kind of passes over something. There's notes here about a disagreement with the first emperor. Something
between grandmother or great-grandmother?
Grandmother. She left court. She says here she left court because she can no longer condone his position on the outer islands. And he's looking outward far too much and not thinking about the people anymore. And something about Ghost help me see there's more.
Wait, go back. What's that?
It sounds like, it doesn't sound right. She said ghost, right? Did she mean a ghost? Like a memory, a spirit? Helped me see that there is more to my life.
Okay. Does it say anything further than that?
Just lots of details about what she needs to bring back from the centre. Come from the capital. There's something here about a body or a no. She's written it in Celestial, and my Celestial's not very good. I think body or it's either body or it's captive.
Oh, I'm sure it's not. I'm sure you're reading those wrong. Why would she have a body or a captive?
Well, I mean, how's your Celestial these days?
It's a good question. As good as the other languages, I don't know.
Well, my Celestial's rusty, so unless you have a trick that allows you to read all languages.
But I know I have a Eugene who can do things like that, but I don't, I'm afraid. Does it say anything further about this body or captive or ghost?
Just that she shipped them. Oh, well, she didn't ship them using our ship. She chartered an independent merchant vessel.
Does it say what it was called?
Let's see now. No, I think it's just a standard merchant vessel. She shipped it back separately, whatever this was. She paid a good amount of coin for it as well, more than you would expect for like even for removing if it was a body.
I mean, but I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure it was something else. It's probably code for something, you know. And she did like a bit of intrigue.
Well, that's why this is also hard work, is because like half of this is in cipher.
Well, yes, that's kind of to be expected. Any other mention of this ghost that visited her?
She kind of looks through something, and she seems to have chartered an adventurer group shortly after.
Well, she did have an adventurous spirit. I mean, that's
where
I get it from.
To take something back to Klaus Kern.
Oh.
That's weird. Why would I presume maybe this person was a friend or something.
Wait, so she chartered that to take that body back, or is this a separate thing?
Well, she's got it associated. There's a mark here, and she kind of shows you like this strange scrawling handwriting that your grandmother had, and then a mark that's the same in a different part of the documentation. Has this symbol in these three places.
What does the symbol look like?
Looks like a
Or is it?
crystal scored through twice.
No idea what that would be. Okay.
How about your end? Anything interesting about the family history?
Well, I'm trying to find out some more information about sort of father when he was younger, because, I mean, he's always been very nice and stuff, but, I mean, I suppose most of the Empire mothers do tend to take the majority of the attention, so I just wondered what he was like and what his interests were and what his allegiances were when he was younger, so that's what I'm trying to find out.
Any joy?
I don't know. I'll ask the D&D gods.
she kind of smiles and goes, "Look, it's a shame we can't just ask him outright, really."
Well, maybe one day, but I don't have the time or energy to. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just going to have a look through. Can I have a look through any of the other stuff just to see if I can find anything about him as a young person?
You can, yes. Make a roll.
Okay. Well, what am I rolling?
History again.
Okay. 14.
14 is not as good, unfortunately. You do find mentions of your father several places. He was at court at the same time as your grandmother. It does seem that he was a... Oh, what you do find, it appears that he was a ward. He was sent to her to learn how to behave in court, to prepare himself for raising himself in standing. Your grandmother talks about him with a great fondness, says that he's a very smart boy, he's incredibly loyal, he'll go far in the Empire, he knows his duty, and he seems to know, and this is the thing that sticks for you, he knows right from wrong, which, as you remember, is something that your grandmother was always very stringent on. Your position, Canberra's position, make sure you do right by the people you care about.
The last thing I would want to look is just to see if there is anything, anybody that my grandmother mentions that I know is still alive. Any of her close friends or confidants that I know is still alive. Just in case.
One last history check, please.
Oh, that's 19.
19.
Yep.
Yeah, you find a couple of names that are quite familiar. She talks about Alia Kellinar from Clan Kellinar.
Mm-hmm.
And she talks about Sabina Rithin, the Emperor's consort. It's kind of, there's several notes in there of like them going for lunch and dinner and things on a regular basis.
Cool. And I know that those people are still alive.
You've met Sabina twice.
Yes. I was going to say, is that the same Sabina?
Yes. The preternaturally long-lived human who still holds a lot of power at court.
Mm.
You have also met Alinir Kellinar a couple of times. She is a veritable dragon in the literal sense of a woman. And also fond of, you remember from you and Campbell, the few times that you did go to court as a child, she had a tendency to try and wind up the people who were a little up their own arses by doing things like giving you things to plant in boots and under seats and things like that. She was always really kind and gentle, but terrifying when she lost her temper with the other adults. She never lost her temper with you two, though.
Okay, cool. I think that's all, unless there is anything that I found that I haven't asked about.
I will have you roll for Campbell first.
Oh, okay. Also history?
Also a history. And you can add 7
Oh.
to her roll.
Oh, blimey. Well done, Camber. 24.
She kind of looks up and she kind of looks at you. Have you ever heard of someone called Koresh Kelsier?
No, should I have?
No, she just mentions this person several times in relation to great-grandmother. She says Koresh Kelsier and grandmother were friends before the war. That there was she thinks that maybe he was supposed to marry before the empire rose. She was supposed to marry him and not great grandfather. But he just disappears after the empire's formed. He's not mentioned again. Like,
I mean, that would explain why she didn't marry him.
Maybe he died in the war, but I've just never heard. It feels like a name that we would have heard of. Like,
well, you'd think so if she was initially going to marry him.
Well, if she was promised to him. Who the Kelsier family? I've never heard of them.
No. I mean, I assume I haven't either, Chris.
No, you haven't. Well, make me a history check just to make sure.
No, that's a 5.
No, you've never heard of the Kelsier family either. I'll spell that for you. It's Quelzire.
Cool. Well, if you have the opportunity to maybe ask subtly if there was ever such a house, maybe you can let me know if.
Yeah, maybe if you can
Although
ask
it's
your allies outside the Empire, because they
it
have
might not be a
long
great
memories.
idea for you to start mentioning things like this in your position. I mean, you're very important now, so I wouldn't want you to, get involved in anything.
Do you want me to reach out to Sabina?
Yes, it would be easier for you than me.
I'll get her to let her know that you want to talk to her. See if she can arrange something.
I mean, just tell her I'm just doing a bit of research into great-grandmother. That's it.
Well, I'm sorry to say.
And preferably that we could meet somewhere not here.
Probably a good idea.
That'd be great.
I wish this had been a bit more fruitful for you, but you know what.
Oh no, I think this
is
like. Well, yeah, and there's a lot of information. I mean, I don't know what to make of it, but if I do, I'll let you know if I find out anything that I think you'd be interested in. But it's just a bit of research for the stuff that we've been doing and things.
Well, that's good, and if it helps a bit, even if it doesn't give you the answers you want. Just
yes.
Be really careful out there. There are a lot of people who know you are still alive and where you are now.
Honestly, they really need to get out more. I haven't been here for 20 years.
She suddenly stiffens and motions for you to hide.
Okay, I will try and dash behind the nearest large object of furniture or heavy curtain that I can find.
Roll me a stealth check, please.
Oh God.
And you hear footsteps coming towards, like, quite heavy.
Okay. Can I cast invisibility on myself, please?
You can, if you've got spell slots. Of course you can.
I do. Cool, so I'm going to cast invisibility on myself.
Invisibility on yourself, cool.
Yeah, so I am invisible for up to an hour.
Awesome. Are you holding your breath at the same time?
No. I feel like I should, but the owl house is a long way away from here. Yeah. But I'm still gonna hide behind like a chair or a curtain or something, even though I'm invisible.
I would still have that stealth check, but you get advantage, obviously.
Oh, nice. Stealth. 20, unnatural 20.
Nice. It's those big heavy footsteps come closer, and then the doors open, and you hear a familiar voice call out, "Camber, why are you in here, my love? Why aren't you? I thought you'd be in the office. What are you doing? There's a lot of research here." And his sister goes, "Dad. Well, I got curious about some things, so I was just taking the afternoon to do a little bit of research and, look back into the family and things. Oh, right, well, good to you to know these things, I suppose. And kind of, you actually do see your father come up to the table and kind of start looking through the documents.
Now Rock does hold his breath.
Oh, this is all your grandmother's stuff. Okay, interesting. Great woman, your grandmother. Yeah, you spent a lot of time with her before you met Mother. Oh, yeah, she took care of me growing up, taught me how to make my way around court and things. Good woman. I miss her. Mother does too. And he just, you see him just reach out and just kind of goes, well, I won't keep you any longer. And you kind of hear him sort of pace above. He goes, and as he just leaves, he goes, oh, it's nice to not see you, Rock. But, do make sure your mother doesn't find out you're sneaking home. And the door closes behind him. And you hear in your head, you forgot to close your mind, didn't you?
Oh, for God's sake. Right, I have to leave. I have to leave.
You have to stop panicking.
No, I'm not panicking. Well, I mean, I'm slightly panicking, but to be fair, I don't know what's worse. Running into Father and him knowing I'm here, and possibly, God knows what, or being stabbed by some random as I land.
Rock, listen to what he said. He said, don't let Mother catches you, which means, for whatever his reasons, he's fine with you being here.
Well, yes, but I don't want other people to know that he knows either, because that could put him in danger, because apparently people are trying to kill me for not being here, which is weird, because when I get here and they kill me, I'm not going to be here, so this place is as useful as always. Thank you for your help.
Anytime. She kind of reaches up and she starts straightening you to the closure, kind of says, where can I get you to?
Well, I need to go back. I need to go back to wherever I returned. I need to go back to Maradras Island.
Right, well, Millie is going to take you.
Oh, that I mean, she doesn't have to, but I mean, it would be welcome just in case, any more of that.
Safer if she took you.
Great. I mean, and I'm going to very pointedly make sure that I say this so that if Millie is anywhere near, she can hear. I'm just going to say, well, that would be great. I mean, she's very useful, but, I mean, if she doesn't kill me first, obviously.
Cambercus kind of has her hands on your shoulders at this point, and she just kind of pulls you in for a big hug.
I guess she hugs me. I'm just going to say to her, I really mean it. Don't tell anyone. Just don't get involved in anything. You have enough to do here.
I know. But if I can help my brother when he needs it, then surely my position is worth something.
Well, you could help me by not mentioning I was ever here.
I will do that entirely. And I'll make sure Father stays quiet too.
Wait, you're not threatening to have him, knocked off?
No, I'll just make sure Just make sure...
Well, I don't know. I mean, you're in this position of authority now. I don't know who you're having knocked off.
I may just need to make sure he has more budget for his card-playing buddies for a little while, that's all.
Oh, good. Yes, bribe him instead of kill him. That's much better, yes. It's just charming.
See, you'd have made a perfect Lord Protector. I would never have had to worry.
Well, I'd been here 10 minutes when I heard you drugged him, but apparently that didn't go very well, so... Anyway.
Apparently the food didn't disagree with him as much as I thought it did. Anyway. Let's get you smuggled out.
Enough. Thank you again.
You are led back out through some of the sneaky ways that you and your sister used to use, back down to a small jetty out the back of the mansion, where a tiny little skiff, two-man vessel, Millie bundles you in and kind of makes you look a little bit like just provisions being taken into the city.
I think Millie just hears in her head Rock saying, Oh, such luxury.
she just goes. Taps her ear and implies that she can't hear you, which of course she can't.
I'm just kidding. In her head, she also hears Rock just mumbling, going, "Oh, so she is dumb and stupid."
As she gets in, she kicks you in a way that kind of implies that it was an accident, but kind of feigns it, and then just the ship kind of lurches and you kind of skip down. It takes you a little bit longer to get back to the island because the ship is smaller, but you are delivered safely back. She refuses to leave your side until such time as you can send that message back to Uncle Perb. When the gnome appears, she vanishes, but as he does and you exchange like pleasantries for like just to check you're okay and you're not being followed and things, you feel a squeeze on your shoulder.
I won't look at her if she is invisible to draw any attention, but I will just pause, and in her head she will just hear Rock say, "Thank you, and please look after Camber."
Your reply you get in the strange way that Millie always does is more emotion than words, and it's that whole sort of course I will, please take care of yourself as well.
I'm perfectly fine. Really. I mean, I'm an adventurer. I've got a badge and everything. Yeah. And I'll just walk off to Uncle Perb.
Okay. You are not sure. You kind of get the impression she's gone. Uncle Perb casts his spell again, and you are back in the magic circle in the mansion.
Let's see if I throw it up again.
Yeah.
No, that one's alright. That's a 16. I'm hoping
that's fine. It gets easier each time as well. Like, so by the third time, you don't need to throw for throwing up.
Nice. I'm just going to, as soon as we get there, I'm going to say to Uncle Perb, I do appreciate your help, and I hope it wasn't uncomfortable for you to sort of keep secrets, but I do appreciate your help, and let's never speak of this again.
Well, I hope it was fruitful, and let me know if I can help again.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. Now, where is Eugene, and what on earth was he talking about wearing?
Eugene is out on a date. But if you want to join us in the lounge, we're waiting to see how it went.
Oh, yes, I think I could do with a port.
And you are waiting with everybody else when Eugene returns home.
I am finding or moving a chair to a position where I can see all the possible entrances where Eugene can come in. And I'm just going to sit there with a port.
And Tythig is sitting with you, and the two of you are chatting, and Bordeus has kind of joined you at the end of his shift, and Kath comes in as well, and the four of you are kind of politely doing that sort of over-the-shoulder thing as Eugene comes in, positively glowing.
Over the shoulder, polite. Rock is literally going to spin round like he's got whiplash when he sees Eugene come in. Literally everyone else is being polite and Rock's just like that. Aha!
Oh, everyone's here. Hi.
Oh, remember we also live here in your house.
Well, yes, I didn't mean everyone's here in the house. I meant everyone's here in this one room staring at me.
Oh, well, just, wondering how you are and what you've been up to.
I'm well, thank you. How
Good.
Are you?
Did you have a good day?
Yeah.
Nice evening?
It was pleasant.
I mean, your expression says it was more than pleasant. Did you do anything special?
Don't tease the lad, Rock. He's quite clearly had a beautiful night. Let him enjoy it.
I mean, the outfit looks great. So well done.
Thanks. You were less than helpful, by the way.
What do you mean I was less than helpful?
Well, that was so open to interpretation.
Well, that's the whole point. It's supposed to reflect who you are.
Yeah, but I was asking for help.
I was in the middle of a thing. But you look good anyway, so well done.
I think
Thanks.
It's this point in time you probably noticed the scarf. The very oversized dark blue scarf.
Is that new? I've not seen that before.
Yeah, it was a gift, actually.
Oh, I mean, those colours are terribly familiar. I can't place them. From anyone we know?
You know it was from Gree.
Oh, you're on a date with young Gristle.
I think it's this time you kind of get a little kind of a sharp pain as a mage hand pokes you in.
Oh, stop that. Well, I hope you had a lovely date. Was he well behaved?
What do you mean?
I don't think that boy knows how to misbehave, to be honest.
Well, I'd have to check that he was well behaved and treated you well.
Why don't you come and join us for a drink and tell us what you are prepared to share with us? Because we're all curious and we all like Gree.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, he's perfectly pleasant, but, we'll see about liking. Anyway, sit down and have a drink.
Insight check.
Do you want to roll an insight check?
Yeah.
Versus Rock's either persuasion or deception based on which you are using.
Sure.
Bad, Eugene.
That's a 25.
21.
Oh!
25.
Yeah, it's so hard. When Rock is in this sort of mood, he's so hard to read.
Anyway, more importantly, what was the food like?
Oh, yeah, the food was great. Good recommendation.
Good. I'm glad. Anything else you want to tell us?
I got these petals.
Oh, you mean? Oh, very good. Yes, it's a nice restaurant, isn't it?
Yeah, it was lovely. Thank you.
And I think the rest of the awkward conversation kind of drifts on for a little while.
Drags out for a little while.
The rest of your week goes on. The members of the research team start setting up in Uncle Perv's study, coming on a regular basis. Gris is at the house a couple of times during the week, and it's all very nice and not awkward at all, funnily enough. It's all very light and gentle, and you get to spend some time together.
Let's try harder.
Some of the team isn't arriving in time for you departing, but will be with you shortly. Riskarif has joined you. She is going to be acting as a protector for the house whilst you're away. Because obviously what you're doing entails a certain amount of danger, and if you need an extra sword arm, she needs to be readily available. She says she's also trying to handpick a few other people that might be advantageous to you for the future as well, but she'll get back to you on once she's done her hires. The week goes on, and it comes to the time when you are due to leave. And Aisling does make it back in time, and the three of you and Parshkikk make your way up to his circle. He says, right, well, I have been told by Rebecca I just need to take you straight over to the shipworks. Have you ever been to Fallen Peak?
No.
Okay, well, very different place. Very interesting. Try not to let the dwarves take all of your time up talking to you about their work, but they are good people. And
I think Rock would probably have been.
You think he's gone? Probably just on one of the expedition.
Yeah, when traveling with the carnival.
So the carnival wouldn't have set up there, but they might have gone there to get a new ship or have one repaired. So let me take you somewhere new. He kind of says, he kind of claps his hands together and starts casting the teleport spell, and then all of you whisked away in that strange, much more comfortable because it's circle to circle. It's almost like stepping through a portal as opposed to being wrenched halfway across the known world. And you step out onto a large platform on a dusty outcrop with a wooden shack around it and some dwarven guards in like quite heavily armoured, but with auto crossbows or pistols and heavy mechanical contrivances. And you look forward to Fallen Peak. The island is smaller than Cloud's Curve, but no less populous. You see airships docked at all up and down what is apparently an inverted mountain. Wooden frames all the way around it, and at the top, areas overcropping with what you can see are regular flights of Aarakocra and Owlin descending with messenger bags to different parts of a heavily steaming and acrid smelling workshop of metal and wood. You can hear the din of metal being beaten into plates, the shouting of workmen everywhere, and it is the loudest place you've probably ever been, but something quite interesting and fascinating about it. And that is where we'll pick up next week.
Cool.
So, what did Aisling get up to?
She ate cheese.
She did eat cheese. You guys will have to find out during the week when Charlie and I are going to record a one-shot for Aisling where we find out what her and Alabaster were able to find out whilst Eugene was on his date and Rick was doing a sneaky visit home.
I like how everyone is doing like important things, and Eugene just went on a date.
It's important. It's like a life moment.
This has been really, really fun. We missed Charlie, obviously.
Yeah.
This has been a lot of fun. It's been really nice to have these characters spend some time by themselves and kind of explore their own story a little bit. So we will be back next week, and we will have the amazing Alicia from Dice and Slice with us.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really, really good.
I'm scared. I feel like Aisling's chaotic energy and Alicia, based on her previous characters, it's all going to be crazy.
Well, you will have to see. I can tell you nothing at this point.
I know. I hate it.
We have been Some Other Heroes. My name is Chris. If you would like to follow me and what I get up to, you can actually see down here where you can get it. It is chrismepham.com/links, which has got all my socials and the socials for Some Other Heroes if you haven't got them already. Please follow us. We kind of keep you updated, and we can let you know what's going on and what we've got coming up. I have illustration slots open. I've got a couple open at the moment. If you are interested, drop me a DM either on Twitter or Instagram. I'm happy to chat about anything you'd like to. It's been fun. I've enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to next week. I'm going to pass to Theo. You can go second.
Yes. I have been Theo. You can find my illustration stuff at theoblueillustration.com, and that has links to all my other social medias on there if you want to see. And mostly pictures of my cats, honestly, on my social media. But if you're into that, then and you can also find my shop on there as well if you want to see that stuff.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. Wayne.
Thank you. Before I give you my details, please do also go and have a look and follow the links for our lovely Charlie, who is not here today. She has her charlievince.com website where all her things are, and of course her pigeon clothing website, where she does not make pigeon clothing, but in fact makes clothing that is cool as pigeons. That's not what she says at all. I made that up. Speaking of making
the
things
official
up,
slogan.
yes, pigeons. No, never mind. I am Wayne. I can be found on most of the socials as WayneFix01. So please do drop me a line and come and say hi and send me a message and all the stuff. It's really cool. I love being able to reach out and kind of connect with people and have a chat. So I would appreciate it if you would like to do that. And otherwise, my website is WayneFix.com. So you can have a look at some of the stuff I do for clients and things if you're interested in that kind of thing. Also, please remember that we will be back on a Thursday with another episode of Space at the Table, which would be great if you guys can pop on. It really made a huge difference to have so many people in the chat and kind of taking part, and we'd love to hear what you think as we talk about world building stuff on Thursday. That would be great.
Amazing. So it's a busy week for us. So we will have the one shop up probably Thursday morning if I can manage it. If not, I will obviously keep you informed on Twitter and Instagram, let you know when it's coming. The Space at the Table on Thursday, and we are back next Sunday with a guest, which we're all really, really excited for. We have been some other heroes. We love you very much. We love doing this for you. We love telling these stories for you. We know it's really tough out there, so if we can just make you smile a little bit, we've achieved something.
Or make you cringe.
Or make you cringe. Cringe is good.
I'm okay with that.
Embrace the cringe. We love you all very much. Please make sure you're taking care of yourselves.
Hi, Charlie's mum.
Hi, Charlie's mum.
We love you too. Much love to you all. Oh, big shout out, because I didn't get to do it at the top, to Nikki and Michelle, who are our mods, who do an amazing job, and we love them, just keeping space safe and free from trolls and hate for us, which is really appreciated.
Although we have the coolest people who come and watch us, I have to say.
Yeah, we're very lucky with this community. We really, really are appreciative of the time you spend with us. We love you. See you during the week. Take care. Bye.
Have a good week.